Hey, what's going on, guys? So in this video I would like to basically just speak about something that I've not really spoke about before, a weight on my shoulders that I would like to lift, and just an experience that I'd like to share with you, because this is something that has made a massive impact on my life the past coming up to a year now, and something that I've really struggled with in the past, and that is smoking, cigarettes and vaping, and just anything to do with nicotine in general. How I quit, why I quit, and basically everything in between. Um, so, yeah, I guess where should I start? I mean, I guess I should start by saying that I started smoking just shy of about 10 years ago now, and I managed to quit smoking a year ago, and I've been a non smoker ever since. Um, on more than one occasion, I questioned whether I should be doing it, and on more than one occasion, I said to myself that I was going to quit and never quite succeeded. And I think it just all really boils down to health concerns, but also the money side of things. Smoking and nicotine-based products are expensive, and yeah, I mean, just a combination of things, but not necessarily why I quit, but how I quit, and what it was like, I guess. So at my very worst, I was smoking maybe 30 roll-ups a day, and at my best, it was when I just started smoking. I'd probably smoke about 3 to 4 a day, and that was about the extent of cigarette smoking. When vaping came around, I dabbled around with the idea of it, and started off with the sub-ohm vapes, which is the vapes that you actually build and just use to get flavour and sort of do recreationally. And then later on down the line, when I decided to actually quit smoking tobacco, I moved on to mouth to lung vaping with higher nicotine, and basically just chasing that throat hit and that sort of nicotine buzz that you get from smoking, and replicating that feeling. Um, Now, not only was that again expensive, but I was also suffering with the same breathing issues that I was having with smoking, because I was putting a harsh product into my lungs. The nicotine, when it hits your throat, for me personally, it would sort of close up my throat, and it would hit my lungs pretty hard. Um, and so I got to a point where I was sort of getting headaches when I wasn't vaping, and I was getting irritable when I wasn't vaping, and you know I sort of just wondered, well, why is this? Because when I was smoking cigarettes, I was having the same issue, and when I moved on to vaping, I was kind of hoping that this would get rid of those problems. And it turns out that it all boils down to the nicotine. And I know that you've heard it time and time again that nicotine is the addictive substance in, smoking, cigarettes and vaping, chewing tobacco, pretty much anything. But it's crazy that the power that nicotine has over your mind and how you act. And I can only really describe nicotine withdrawal and basically just nicotine cravings as a certain hunger that is unexplainable unless you've experienced it yourself. I know that if you're watching this video and you're a smoker, you probably know what I'm on about. It's almost as if you get that feeling of intense thirst if you haven't had water for a long time. If you're feeling dehydrated, and you get that intense thirst, and when you drink the water, you feel really satisfied. Or when you're really really hungry and eat really good flavorful food and you feel satisfied, you get that feeling of satisfaction. And I can only describe my cravings for nicotine as an intense hunger for a cigarette or a vape. Um, so it would almost feel like if I hadn't had a cigarette or a vape for a while, I was being squeezed, as a figure of speech. And when I did have that sort of nicotine or that cigarette or whatever it was, the sort of squeeze would release a little bit, but then it would come back later on. And that is how I would describe nicotine addiction, as just a constant squeeze that it's got around you, a constant hold that it's got on you, and you only really ever relieve it for a short period of time before it comes back again and it squeezes harder again. The way I felt when I eventually quit nicotine was a big squeeze for maybe, I don't know, a week or so, but it was bearable. And then after a while, that squeeze just sort of slowly let go until there was not really anything there. And, don't get me wrong, I still get cravings every now and then, but I can easily say no. It's nowhere near as bad as when I was smoking and vaping every single day, where, I would have to have that cigarette or have to have that, and I would always rationalise why I should have that, and I would always manage to go back to doing it. It's more so something that I can just say no to now and occupy myself with something else, and it's just completely out of my mind. And I think that's how it goes for most people. But the way that I managed to successfully quit was not by cutting down or alternative methods, because what we've got to understand here is that the addictive substance is the nicotine. It doesn't matter how you're getting it. If you have a nicotine, you have a nicotine, and you're going to keep wanting to have that nicotine. So the best thing that I found for myself was complete cold turkey, but not going into it blind. I actually educated myself before I stopped. And I've done that by listening to a fantastic audiobook by Alan Carr, which is called The Easy Way to Quit Smoking. It's the only thing that has ever worked for me, and essentially what it done was made me realise how the nicotine works, how it affects me, how to view and visualise the nicotine as not a chemical but a physical being that you don't want anywhere near you. And that really helped me in actually not smoking again. And that's something that I found really empowering, because for once in my life it felt like I was in complete control of something, and I felt powerful. And I haven't smoked ever since. I haven't vaped ever since, and that's the honest truth. I haven't touched nicotine ever since. I dabbled with a pipe once, but not for the feeling of the nicotine. I dabbled with the pipe just to see how I would like it, and I tried it and I didn't really like it, and I threw it in the bin, and that was the end of that. But I haven't had any cravings for nicotine at all. I haven't felt the need to buy a packet of cigarettes or anything. And the way I've done that was by essentially visualising nicotine as a something bad, a demon or a creature, or a devil. That's, if you see these sort of cartoons and you've got the angel on one side and the devil on the other side, the nicotine's telling you this, is by just grabbing that devil and squeezing it and telling it to go away. That's how I managed to kick the habit, is by, when I had these cravings, not trying to rationalise them, but actually just putting my foot down and saying, no's the answer. I'm not going to do it. And, rather than, and this is what Alan Carr says as well in his audio, but rather than saying that I'm someone who is actively trying to quit or quitting smoking, putting my foot down and saying, I'm no longer a smoker, I've quit, and having that mindset of, it's never going to happen again. Now, guys, I will say that the first few weeks were hell. They weren't easy for me. This intense hunger was there. It was there for, about, I'd say, 2 weeks, until really, the sort of hand just completely disappeared, and that hold that it had on me just faded away. It's not something that happens overnight. It's never going to be something, especially if you're addicted, which, if you're a nicotine user, you probably are, because it's an addictive substance. It's something that is, it's not going to go away straight away. This hold that it has on you is going to last a fair while, depending on how long you've been doing nicotine, how long you've been smoking. But the same principle applies. The moment you put your foot down is the moment you're no longer part of it. It's no longer part of your life. You're free. You can breathe. You can let go. And whatever withdrawal symptoms you may have from quitting, it doesn't really matter, because that's all they are. They're withdrawal symptoms, and that's how I viewed it. I'm having withdrawal from a substance that I have been hooked on for many years, and that's completely normal. That's completely okay. And those first 2 weeks are painful, and that's when most people relapse. And that's when I relapsed the first 5-6 times that I tried to quit smoking. But going into it with this mindset of, this is a demon, this is something that I don't want anywhere near me, this is something that I can crush, I feel powerful, I'm ready for this, it made all the difference. So honestly, I would wholeheartedly urge you guys, if you're looking to quit smoking and you're struggling, check the audiobook out. This is your health at the end of the day. This is something that I found very, very helpful, and this is something that, I would urge anyone that would like to quit smoking to definitely check out. It's your health, it's worth the time, it's worth the investment, and this is how I personally dealt with my nicotine addiction. And yeah, 1 year down the line, how do I feel? I'll be honest with you, not much different in terms of breathing and health, but I feel free. I feel free from the substance. Funnily enough, a strange thing, I tend to get up on time in the mornings now. I never used to be able to sleep properly. And now, when I go to sleep at a reasonable time, I actually wake up to my alarm, and when my alarm goes off, I press the off button and I get up. Whereas when I used to be addicted to nicotine, when I used to smoke and vape, I would never get up. I'd always be late to work, I'd never get up on time, and after that 2 weeks was over, I just never had an issue getting up again. It's crazy, I don't know how it works. Another thing, I don't feel like I have to squeeze it into my schedule anymore. It's not, I wake up and the vape's there and I vape it straight away, or I wake up, I go out for a cigarette. It's, I wake up, I do what I got to get done, I go to work, or, it's not part of my routine anymore. It's not a burden on me anymore. And that's the massive problem. It was a massive burden on me for the longest time. And, it's gone now. And I'm just so grateful that it's not in my life anymore. So, guys, I know this video is completely unrelated to any content that I've ever made on this channel. And for those of you guys that are fans of my old content, I do apologise because, this channel was at one point in time used for that sort of content. I'm not that sort of person anymore. I don't really do the whole car thing anymore. I'm also someone who, is focusing on other things now at the moment. Who knows, I may come back to the car thing in the future, but in the meantime, it's not really something that I'm feeling very passionate about. It's really not something that I've looked into for the longest time. And I'm just really happy that I've got this platform to share these important things with you guys on. I hope that some of you take it on. If you are old viewers of the channel, it's really good to see you guys. And I hope that I can help you guys out there, because this is something that I struggled with for the longest time. And I'm telling you, this is the only thing that ever helped me. This is how I quit smoking, the reasons why I quit smoking. And I just feel so much better for it. I do. And I'm just really glad that I'm able to share this experience with you guys. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you learned a couple of things if you're looking to quit smoking, or if you're not even a smoker and you want to maybe ask a parent or someone to quit. I'm being 100%, I'm 100% transparent with you guys. I was very addicted, and I never thought there was a way out, but there is. And it's not willpower. It's not just stop doing it. It's not cut down. It's understanding and visualizing, and then putting that into action and saying, this is where it ends, and there you go, and that's how it's done. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video, and until next time, I've been Lewis, you've been awesome, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.